vibes, I need them on delay. I'm away, hey, okay, I like your lay. Don't mind the way I love it when you say my name. Them vibes, I need them on delay.
Every time I'm on the beat, yeah, that's cash. Every time I'm with your boo, yeah, I thrash. Nigga, yeah, you know what's up. Don't be mad. Pop out in that Bentley truck, cause I can. Baby, look, I got the juice. That's from my dad. Got the dress, she follow suit. And I like that. I like the way you make me feel. I like the late, she like my game.
Top down, yeah, you know we go fast. Run around in a wheel with my lash. Diamonds dance, you know they really dance. You know how we dance with our feet up on the dash. Every time I'm in the booth, yeah, that's cash. Pull up on you with no roof, yeah, that's cash. And I drag, it's the way I got these stacks, yeah, that's cash. I ain't never cap, I catch you simping, then you wow. Don't be tick-tocking in the mirror, baby, back it up. Back it up, I ain't mad. Shawty tick-tocking, yeah, this cash. And I need to know if you could throw it back. You be tick-tocking in the mirror, baby, back it up. Back it up, I ain't mad. Shawty tick-tocking, yeah, this cash. And I need to know if you could throw it back. Top down, yeah, you know we go fast. Run around in a wheel with my lash. Diamonds dance, yeah, you know they really dance. You know how we dance with our feet up on the dash. Every time I'm in the booth, yeah, that's cash. Pull up on you with no roof, yeah, that's cash. And I drag, it's the way I got these stacks, yeah, that's cash. I ain't never cap, I catch you simping, then you whack. Okay, I like your lay. Don't mind the way I love it when you say my name. Them vibes, I need them on delay. I'm away. What they want, what they want. Really shine in the color outside. I'm just always supposed to. Baby girl, when you move, it's like magic. Up, down, left, right, I'm an addict. We gon' switch it up, I'ma do something dramatic. Top down, yeah, you know we go fast. Run around in a wheel with my lash. Diamonds dance, didn't know they really dance. You know how we dance with our feet up on the dash. Every time I'm in the booth, yeah, that's cash. Pull up on you with no roof, yeah, that's cash. And I drag, it's the way I got these stacks, yeah, that's cash. I ain't never cap, I catch you simping, then you whack. Okay, I like your lay. Don't mind the way I love it when you say my name. Them vibes, I need them on delay. I'm away, hey, okay, I like your lay. Don't mind the way I love it when you say my name. Them vibes, I need them on delay.
Every time I'm on the beat, yeah, that's cash. Every time I'm with your boo, yeah, I thrash. Nigga, yeah, you know what's up. Don't be mad. Pop out in that Bentley truck, cause I can. Baby, look, I got the juice. That's from my dad. Got the dress, she follow suit. And I like that. I like the way you make me feel. I like the late, she like my game.
Top down, yeah, you know we go fast. Run around in a wheel with my lash. Diamonds dance, didn't know they really dance. You know how we dance with our feet up on the dash. Every time I'm in the booth, yeah, that's cash. Pull up on you with no roof, yeah, that's cash. And I drag, it's the way I got these stacks, yeah, that's cash. I ain't never cap, I catch you simping, then you wow. Don't be tick-tocking in the mirror, baby, back it up. Back it up, I ain't mad. Shawty tick-tocking, yeah, this cash. And I need to know if you could throw it back. You be tick-tocking in the mirror, baby, back it up. Back it up, I ain't mad. Shawty tick-tocking, yeah, this cash. And I need to know if you could throw it back. Top down, yeah, you know we go fast. Run around in a wheel with my lash. Diamonds dance, didn't know they really dance. You know how we dance with our feet up on the dash. Every time I'm in the booth, yeah, that's cash. Pull up on you with no roof, yeah, that's cash. And I drag, it's the way I got these stacks, yeah, that's cash. I ain't never cap, I catch you simping, then you whack. Okay, I like your lay. Don't mind the way I love it when you say my name. Them vibes, I need them on delay. I'm away. What they want, Baby girl, when you move, it's like magic. Up, down, left, right, I'm an addict. We gon' switch it up, I'ma do something dramatic. Top down, and you know we go fast. Run around in the wheel with my lash. Diamonds dance, didn't know they really dance. You know how we dance with our feet up on the dash. Every time I'm in the booth, yeah, that's cash. Pull up on you with no roof, yeah, that's cash. And I drag, it's the way I got these stacks, yeah, that's cash. I ain't never cap, I catch you simping, then you wild.
Alright, guys, talk real quick. Okay, there's 1 second, guys.
Your words.
I'm
Here
sorry
we
to
go.
have said that, but that is just as bad.
I mean, that doesn't help the situation.
Bro.
I feel like you're selling snake oil right now when you say that.
No one ever said snake oil was bad. It's healthy for the skin.
That's
Have you
oh
ever
my
tried
God,
it?
Who are you?
Okay, it's been a hot second since we've done a podcast / interview, so we were getting things set up. Sorry for that really long. Y'all ready for this? Y'all waiting for this? I forgot what the thing was, but we're here now.
It also clips, by the way. It clips out of the box.
It clips. Yeah, I know it does. That's just a thing now. We've accepted that. I don't know how to move it and shit, so I was like, let me leave it.
You're never gonna fix the clipping, are you?
No, I don't wanna. I don't feel like it. It has its charm. It's like that old dying cat. It's kind of grown on me.
What?
Hey, just quick shout out to that geek boy. He said snack oil.
Yeah, he's right. Snake oil. That's where we're going right now.
Anyways, welcome Fourty Fingers Podcast, episode 27, 26, 26.
It's 26.
26.
Literally.
I was thinking.
I'm just gonna say this for the benefit of everyone here. At some random point tonight, McDonald's is going to arrive. It's midnight. It's near midnight. McDonald's is going to arrive, and I am going to get up and get it.
This man
I might bring the driver in. I don't know.
This man found out Just Eat can deliver at night with PayPal, so he just ordered right before. So
It broke my mind.
I know, and I would never order from McDonald's unless it's a McFlurry, because I do like McFlurries. But
No, McFlurries are gross.
why? No, they're not. They're fine.
What's a McFlurry?
Wait,
Okay, I'm gonna say this for the first time tonight. I'm gonna just break out with this. Like, McFlurries are bad, and you're a bad person for liking them.
no, you're a
Well,
bad person for hating them.
So, like, what? Like, is it a smoothie? Is it
No,
like...
it's an ice cream.
McFlurry is literally like vanilla ice cream with chocolate bits sprinkled in, and what's called a flake, which is just literally like you ever have an ice cream that had that little chocolate log in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's called a flake.
Sometimes they mix it up. You do crushed Oreos, crushed M&Ms.
It's not. It's
Crushed.
trash.
That sounds nice.
The
But
problem
actually
with
nice. It's actually nice.
McDonald's soft serve is subpar.
It's decent for the price I get for it. 50p. Come on, that's
Yeah,
alright.
okay. Sure. I'm not gonna say this. Don't worry.
Ice cream antics aside, I want to introduce our buddy, my best friend Nen. He
We're
owns.
not.
He doesn't want to admit it. We're the bestest of friends.
No,
And
you grew up in Croydon. I'm not low class trash. Like that.
shut up, get up. And he owns Webcomics Hub, a YouTube channel / Discord / podcast. Webcomics Hub, the Hubcast.
Do I?
Do you?
I actually don't remember. I think I have amnesia. I'm getting old.
Yes, at his old age of 65.
Yeah, I'm Lana's best friend. How dare you say something so horrendous and horrific? Lana, thank you for showing up. I'm so excited.
And then is my best friend. All right, well, compete. We'll like debate this later, but I'll have you know I will win. And
You have not drawn me a cow. Lana has drawn me a cow, and as such, Lana is the superior individual. She also wears my merch. Why haven't you bought my merch, man?
if would you like me to call you a cow? That helps.
I can draw a cow.
I can-
maybe.
Oh, me
I
a
don't
cow. Oh my god.
And alright, so quick intro into Nen out, and then explain yourself. Who are you?
Explain myself.
Why you want?
Why
to
do I
first?
exist?
Tell me why.
Oh god.
Why were you the fastest sperm?
Hey, I'm Nen. I own Webcomics Hub. I have borderline personality disorder.
Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Nothing you was on for that.
What up? I'm Nen. I'm 19 and I don't know how to fucking read.
Right, yeah, so that's Nen.
I'm just a dweeb who likes comics, and I like talking about comics, and I like working with comics and around comics, and I make dumb videos, and I make dumb video, and talk to people who help push forward the webcomic space. It's actually very rewarding, to be honest.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know as well, like I said earlier, he owns a Discord along with Yas. Is it okay to say Yas?
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
I don't know if both of you own it or if one of you just own it and you're like co-owners.
No, I own it.
Okay,
Kaz. It's not. Yeah, I own it. Yaz is my long term. She's basically. So you know when you get a carer, right? For somebody who is like not fully capable of looking after themselves for reasons.
Yeah.
So she's my carer.
Oh.
And she's trapped with me for the rest of her life. We signed a blood pact.
I like to think that you just you both drop your blood on top of like a little pentagram.
Yeah, and then we sacrificed a little boy that we found, in the middle of the California forests, and then that was it. We did it. That was the whole thing. We basically the plot of the game, The Forest.
Oh, that's ominous. Oh wait, one sec.
Ooh.
He just fully leave.
You know what?
Yeah, you should carry out. Come on.
Sorry, I was interrupted. Okay, so first question, we want to kick this straight off because I don't want to waste any more time. How did you first get into comics in general? You know, you had a history with them before. Oh, okay.
I mean, okay, that phrase is both the truth and a lie.
Okay, explain both.
I'm gonna tell you a story that I don't think I've ever told you before in over a year and a half of knowing you.
Okay.
Back when, like, if it's the first time I ever started reading comics, I was I was very young and I was reading it growing up, usual shit. But the first time I ever started giving a crap about what was in my comics and stuff, I was like 19, and I was no joke to you, I was high as a kite on MDMA. I was so high on MDMA. What actually happened is the friends I was staying with, we were sitting down in their room. I was like with them. They had hotboxed the entire room. I was in university, and one of them put MDMA in my eye.
Oh,
because
Jesus.
as a joke, because he was like, it'll absorb faster. So basically, I was experiencing the highest of highs, right? And then I said this phrase. It was because the Dark Knight movie had come out like a little bit before, or something. And I said, "Did you know the Dark Knight is an anti-capitalist rhetoric?" It was the Dark Knight Rises. That was the one. The Dark Knight Rises, I think, or something. One of them. And I was like, "Did you know it's an anti-capitalist rhetoric?" And then I proceeded to explain myself. And then when I became sober, I said that actually was completely correct. But I wish I didn't have to figure it out that way.
So
yeah,
literally drugs opened up the entire world of comics do
Yeah,
you?
kind of. I
That's
really like. I mean, I think that was the first time because I never really think. I used to be like a lot of other people. I never used to think about comics, books, anything really
yeah.
at any more depth because when you are a man and you grow up in a very male dominated environment like most of the world is,
Hmm.
you're kind of encouraged to never think about things. So like because of that, I just never like criticized any of my beliefs up until that one day after being high off of MDMA. And then at that moment I began to like think about like, stuff I read and how what it said and what it meant. And then that was pretty much that would be like what I'd consider my main introduction to giving a shit about comics.
Oh, that's an interesting way to start, like an actual. Because I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with drugs, and I don't know how these kind of drugs lead to that kind of thinking. But that's interesting as hell. If you do have a dealer, send me my way. I want to try to open up
I
my
could
own.
explain it to you, but I don't think this is the place to explain complicated drug.
We'll talk about it later. It's all good. um, so side question, because since we're talking about comics, it's so I need to ask you, what is your favorite comic and webcomic, and how has it inspired
All
you?
right. If I wanted to, I'm gonna say like a little thing that makes me sound like a snob, and I want you to like please not call me a snob.
No
Uh,
purposes.
web comics and comics, I do not treat them differently in the way where I would have a favorite comic and a favorite web comic. I just have a favorite comic,
All
right?
right.
Okay.
Because for me, a lot of my enjoyment of work is about how it impacts me. Requiem and I had a long argument about emotions.
Oh, that was
I don't
really
remember this
convoluted.
story.
Yeah, I was half listening to
It's
that, half
complicated.
trying.
It's okay. It's okay. But like, for me, a lot of my comic experience is about the emotional impact it has on me, and I haven't stopped saying this for the past 3 years now. But the creator who has had the most emotional impact on me with their work is Momo Gigi, and she's gonna be very upset when I say this. I say this so much because she doesn't like it when I talk about her work because she's like, like we became friends after I was a fan of hers, but like the reason a lot of her work speaks to me is because there's a lot of like she makes work that seems to discuss things like dealing with family and dealing with self-doubt and dealing with like not really emotional upheaval, more emotional discomfort. Like, and it sounds like so mundane, but that's my shit. That's my jam. Like, I love it when a comic discusses because I've seen every story in the world about like my mom is getting married to my uncle or some shit. You know, I've seen every
Oh, yeah,
story
that's a
where
bit
like the
sus, man.
world ends,
Yeah.
but rarely in life does the world end like that. It's usually like a mundane thing. It's usually like I'm realizing that for the rest of this month I'm just gonna be listless. That's
Right.
annoying.
You like down to earth stories more, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
like
Yeah.
it's a lot more of a talking about what you really experience. It also affects what I write because all I write are vignettes of real life.
Yeah.
Like is it?
Yeah, it's the perfectly fine. I like
Yeah,
that kind of
two
writing.
of, two of my
Could you
scripts.
explain what a vignette is again, real quick? I
A
know you
vignette
said.
is like a snippet of
Yeah.
it's like a snippet. So like I'll put it like this: two of the comics that I've written and one that's currently ongoing, but one of them is about a cat and living with its family. That's it. That's the whole story. And the other
Oh,
one
that
is
was
about
incredibly simple.
yeah, and the other one is about understanding the complicated relationship dynamics around you, your peers, and your Christian family when you come out.
Oh.
Oh, wasn't that the one you're currently?
Yeah, the one
Yeah,
I'm
that's the
currently on.
yeah.
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 And that one is a coming of age story. And that's it. That's it. I'm not writing no one, there's no like, even the story that I have planned, that it's not about happy ending. It's just about talking about it. Like the final story that I haven't written, but I have planned, is literally a story about getting sucked um into like living your life vicariously through other people by watching them through their windows, but not like in a gross way per se, at least not at the start.
Through
And
their windows.
yeah, like through their windows. So basically, I had this thing where every so in my apartment complex, every time I go downstairs to go home to go and throw trash out,
Hmm.
Yeah.
right? I walk past this window of this downstairs neighbor, and I don't see anything weird. It's just their living room, and sometimes I see them, sometimes I don't see them, and then we wave, we say hi. They're nice people. They grow plants. They grow a lot of plants.
Oh.
But like after seeing that a couple of times over the course of a year, I started thinking, oh, what would it be like if I was one of, if like imagine if you didn't have anything left in your life. So the only thing you had was like you didn't have any goals or aims. So you start watching people through their windows and like seeing their highs and lows and being like, those are my highs and lows now. Like you just kind of live through them.
Oh.
I
Okay.
feel
Yeah,
like
That's
we've experienced
relatable.
that through certain stories, or I guess like
yeah.
it's like in if you're playing a video game, right, and you do like one of those like
Mm,
mini story side quests, and you
mm,
complete and you see that progression of those stories. I can relate to that feeling somewhat, I guess.
exactly.
I guess
But
it's
I
like,
would
wait,
love to read something
is
like
it like picturing? It's just practically picturing your life if you were in their shoes, entirely different scenarios.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. And it's just like, and some of these scenarios are so real. Like I know people who dealt with the coming out story stuff because I did.
Mm.
You know,
that.
I know people who just own cats and like I literally to write the cat story, which is called Suki, what has never been put out. To write that story, I literally called all of my friends who own cats, and I was just like, "What's it like having a cat?" And like, cat, and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." But what's like the day to day? What's like the moment to moment? Tell me
Ah.
more about how you picked your cat up last weekend.
Oh, it's like the tiny little tidbits that make it so lovable.
Yeah.
These little bits of stories. Yeah.
Also, I want to just update everyone that the McDonald's is on the way and will be arriving soon.
Oh,
Can't wait for our special guest, McDonald's delivery man. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
so yeah.
Mm.
Is there anything more about your living vicarious story?
Oh, I can tell you the ending if you want to know. It
No,
doesn't
no,
matter.
no.
It doesn't
Uh,
matter if you know the ending.
I'd
I'm
much
I'm
rather.
interested in like seeing it in action rather than being told.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
So moving on then.
Tell
Would
us
you
after the
care?
podcast.
Yeah, yeah, all right. Would you care to share the Webcomics Hub origin story, be it a podcast or channel,
Okay.
however you
If
want
it's the
to?
Discord server,
Yeah.
it was me and one of my long term friends, and honestly one of the nicest guys I know in the world, James. Um, I'm yeah, James. I'll call him James. Um, James and I both ran Webtoon servers at the time, and I was getting really into Webtoon because I had worked a lot with Farnot, Create Ever Sleep Beside You,
Oh
just
yeah,
as
yeah.
friends, hanging out, talking about her work, reading her work, helping her with some stuff. She helps me with some stuff. So, when you know someone who makes a comic, and she became like she became the most popular, became the most liked webtoon creator for literally like 5 years, like
Nice.
like
Oh,
she held that title for like 5 years, making
Whoa.
three panel comics that she updated irregularly.
uh,
Oh, that's cool.
If you so
on
if you're
Canvas.
sitting at home, yeah, on Canvas,
Yeah.
and like I love how I remember there was a day in 2017, yeah, 2017, where we were talking because I remember since 2016 we were talking, and then I remember she was talking about getting featured, and then I was like, yeah, you're totally gonna get featured. And then the comic that got featured like right after that, or maybe it was 2018, right after that conversation was Bite Me or whatever. And we both got so pissed because we both read Bite Me. And at that time, like we both did not have positive feelings towards it. It wasn't like negative. It just wasn't like we were like, this literally has like this and this. Why?
You didn't think that it was on the
Yeah.
level of featured.
No, not even that. Like her work wasn't on the level I featured. It's just we were like, but we have more likes. Like it was the most naive understanding of using a platform.
uh,
It was so fun though. It was so fun. Those were like the funnest moments of making it. But you get through all of that, make a webtoon Discord server, get a couple people. I had like less than 100 people on my first server.
Mm.
I wasn't very popular. James, on the other hand, was booming. Business was booming, Metro booming.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
one second, let me just tell the guy where how to come in.
God
He's
damn
here
it!
already?
Yeah, he muted. This McDonald's worker is fast. Does he live right next to him? My God. Anyways, filler time. This is intermission right now. Nen is gone.
What have you been doing these
Uh,
in time since the last episode that while you're away from?
I did a lot of shit. I got accepted to uni. I put out the Lost Eden episode. I made the Lost Eden opening. I
Banger, banger, banger.
I know, right? I know. if you want to read it, go link in the description. Wink, 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 wink.
Yeah. All right. Wink, wink, wink.
What about how are you settling into uni life though? Because it's your first time moving out. You're a big guy in the world.
Oh, Nen's back.
Okay, all right. We'll never know. Because
He
and he left.
Oh,
All right.
man.
Nen unmuted and he left for a second. He'll be back. He's just currently trying to force his way, the mailman into the house. Trying to get him on.
Oh.
But anyways, tell me about your uni experience, Prince. Your university.
I was served a raw chicken tender, bro.
Oh yeah, you never got to tell that story on the podcast.
I said I was gonna tell the story last week, but I couldn't.
Tell us quickly
So-
before Nen gets on.
Basically, there's this on campus. There's like this prime time like after dinner hours area you can go to spend like an on campus currency essentially to get like the better foods, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, I've been waiting for a while after orientation week. I've been wondering what it's like. So I go there, I get the chicken tender, ate like one of them, slice into another one, eat 2 bits of it until I realize that it's raw.
That's disgusting.
My roommate's always just staring at me and looking and laughing.
Did you complain or anything?
I did. Oh, Nen's back again.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. What happened? I'm sorry that I.
It's
Wait.
we were talking about Prince's raw chicken tender.
Oh my god! Yeah, what was that about?
It doesn't. We. I'm just gonna finish this off real quick. I emailed the guy. I talked to him. He gave me a bunch of coupons.
Wait, who did you email? What company was this? Was this Arby's?
No, it was
the
just on campus. Yeah.
It was the campus. He gave me
Dude.
3 $5 coupons for the
That's
place and another
$15
for a
for
cafe.
possible salmonella. Yo, that's such a low amount of. What?
Cheapos.
I didn't really know how to react to it because like I've never been in that type of situation, so I'm like, dude, I'm not sure making an outrage is gonna do anything really, is it? Like I was just lost. I'm like, all right, I'll accept it. He said he
fair enough.
rechanged the whole system, so I'll trust him. But if it ever happens again, best believe I'm not taking that with stride. All right.
you better be roundhouse kicking under the head, telling them, "Alright, give me my chicken tendies." All right, now that you're,
I'm not getting
Okay,
chicken.
what was the
tenders
question?
anymore.
What was the question I got asked again before I left?
well, you already answered the original question, but I guess the next
Your
question,
origin story for
Yeah.
Webcomics
Oh, yeah.
Hub.
your
So it
Batman
was
origin
like
story.
I told you, I had that small server, less than 100 people. James had his 200 people. Then we partnered up and joined together, for reasons that I still don't understand completely. Then we grew to like a couple thousand people, like just over 1,000 people, and then a friend at the time suggested we start a podcast because he had done a Tower of God podcast. I say friend at the time because we're no longer friends. And he's not a bad guy. I don't think he's a bad guy or anything. I think we just disagreed a lot. But he started it. He did the first couple ones. After a couple moments and a couple incidences, we kind of just put a hold on that. He stopped. We stopped talking to him, started working, and then at some point, Kaz and I had a conversation. Where we're like, we like doing this, don't we? Yeah. Like I wasn't even actively on it, by the way, at that point. So I decided to become a host at that point, like around sometime in July 2018, something like that. Became a full host with Kaz, and we just took off, kept on doing it,
So
Um,
Kaz was an original host
yeah,
before
Kaz has
you.
been there since the beginning. I've also
Okay.
been there, but I mostly did the streaming. I was like the technical guy.
Yeah.
Ah.
I didn't want to talk because I thought my voice sounded like shit.
You were the Freddie Benson of the iCarly team.
Yes,
He was.
I don't know how to convey to Freddie. Okay.
I'm the Freddie Benson of the iCarly team. Everybody, thank you. I know you see. Somehow the world will change for me.
So wonderful. Okay, carry on.
So
Carry on.
because you've so you said 2018 you became an actual host, yeah?
Yeah, the full time host. Yeah,
So it's been basically 2 years since, and you've done a lot of YouTube projects, right?
I would say 3 years, and I've done a lot of different projects. Um, they're all weird though.
Weird how.
YouTube is this weird space where you want to make a bunch of stuff. You know, like I made a comic dub video. Do you know? Did you know?
Critical
Only
Hell.
like a few people know this, by the way. There is another. I have a comic dub video for the Great Duke of Hell. It's a fucking great video.
Yeah, I liked it.
And honestly, it's based on a comic by a guy who I really respect and a comic which I really love. I have a second one of those. Not of Great Duke of Hell. Just a second comic dub.
Oh.
It's been made for over a year. It's been made for over a year. It's been on Patreon for over a year.
Can I watch it?
I've never joined my Patreon.
Shit!
That's your plug.
Oh, I gotta break out the
Join
bag
us
now.
Patreon.
Patreon.com/webcomics hub. Anyway, no, it's been on my Patreon for over a year. I have never shown anyone it outside. It was supposed to have come out literally like so now it's August, right? It got made in July or so last year. It was supposed to have come out July like 30th,
But what
2019.
happened?
Nothing. I just said no and then didn't put it out. And it's like a big problem with creating content on YouTube, especially content around comics, is you have to balance a couple of things. Like Jay, like in the conversation the other day with Jay that you both were in,
Oh,
Jay
yeah.
made a very solid point. Comics just aren't as popular in the mainstream about talking about it. People care about making one, but people don't care about talking about
Yeah,
what makes the
yeah.
comic good. And I know that's part of an evolving medium as it becomes more digitized. It's an industry that refused to evolve early. So you end up in this situation where if I make a 2-hour video, a 20-minute video talking about Zuda Comics, a defunct website that none of you even fucking know about, right?
Yeah.
And you find it interesting because you care about webcomic platforms and shit. I'll get what I have, 200 views. If I make a video and I title it "Great Duke of Hell," what do you call it? Lore Olympus comic dub, I'll get like 2,000 views. If I make a video saying
That
how to
could
make
be
a
millions
webtoon
of views,
with
if anything, to be honest.
yeah, but if I make a video going how to make a webtoon with Lore Olympus comic dub, gone sexual, how to get like a million views, right? Right? I make that video, but I won't be making shit I want to make.
Yeah, you're straying
Like-
further away from that original image, right?
So one of the key things that you start having to do on YouTube, that's why like the first thing when we started the channel, I made a Patreon. Literally the day we started the channel, I made a Patreon. Not because I thought I was hot shit and deserved money. It's more like one, I thought I saw the Patreon service charge change on the horizon because just before the year before Patreon did theirs, a different crowdfunding company also did that, so I knew that was coming. But more importantly,
Hey, that's not bad.
more importantly, I did it because I said the only way I can keep doing this regularly and expanding and making more and more stuff is with money. And it can't be my money because if I start sinking my money into it, right? One, I won't be able to afford the time to do it because my money's barely keeping me afloat at the time at least, and even still now because I'm going back to school. But also because like a key thing about doing this is the money is is a representation of external interest. So, for example, people have given me about $10 to $15 for the past couple of years on Patreon. I have no fear telling people what I make from this stuff. It's not a lot, right? But because I've saved it up over months and months and months, I've saved it, right? I've gone to do some really interesting stuff as the years went by. The comic dubs were paid for almost entirely by people's Patreon money. but also like as things went on and I saved more and more and more, I started doing the shortcasts, which two of which are going up as soon as this video is over. I was supposed to put it up
Yay.
actually before, but I forgot. But
Also, link in the description for the channel is it's in the description.
yeah, and and then I started and I made that Zuda Comics video, which I've been planning to make for over a year, and it took me over a year to make because of work and shit. And now I'm working on another Rise of Online Comics video and a data video from some data I collected from webcomic creators before. All the money over the time, like I think overall I've gotten maybe like, let's see, I'm genuinely just gonna do the math now.
Yeah,
Maybe a grand
Ooh.
over 3 years. No, not even. Maybe $400 over 3 years, right? All that money has just gone back into making more stuff.
Yeah.
Like editing the last shortcast cost $80, just so you have a level of like how much things can cost. And it was a really good edit. You know?
Yeah.
Like at some point, like and it's a lot of like understanding that you invest in the work that you're making because you with the stuff that people give you to show that they care about your work. I don't. That's why I also don't care if people just give me $1. $1 goes a very long way in letting me understand that you value my work enough that you will give me
To
$1.
even bother giving the money.
Yeah.
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 Like I don't on the Patreon there is nothing that is Patreon tiered.
Right.
You get the content early, no matter who the fuck you are. You can ask me anything. You can there is no tier that can DM me as they please. Every tier can DM me as they please, as they please, and ask me anything about progress. You can just message me and be like, "Yo, how's that video going?" And I'll tell you.
Okay. That's very
Do
good
people
anyway.
have tiers for actually like how videos are?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they don't want to get inundated, and I'm just like, I don't give a shit. Even if I had 1,000 people, I would still every person, every level. You want to message me and ask me how that video is doing? I'll tell you. That's why I have that Twitter thing that tells people like my current ongoing projects and how they're going, right?
Yeah.
It's all part of like the understand that I'm working on these things even when it seems like I'm not. It takes time.
Yeah. Definitely.
So
That's
The McDonald's Coca-Cola mix in the UK is so good.
cool. It is. It's not regular Coke, is it?
Yeah, no, they take the syrup and they mix it with water. The US one is so sweet, but the UK one is like just mellow.
how are you making it sound so like tier 3?
It's like a wine.
You're just shaking your
Would
cup.
you
The
like this
bottom of the
Merlot?
cup.
You gotta smell it first, guys.
Oh, I have licked leather bells just to understand how this Coke tastes like.
All right.
Have you not seen Tears of God? Oh, not Tears of God. Something. It's a
Oh,
wine
the-
manga.
yeah, I heard it on the Trash Taste podcast,
Yeah.
but that's a separate thing, yeah.
Yeah.
But then, how are your YouTube projects coming along right now? After you finally finished the Zuda Comics video, naturally after you, as you said, for almost a year, all these months.
Okay. Zuda Comics is done. Shortcasts are done, which I've been planning to get the second one out and just kind of get them on YouTube and Spotify. Right now, they're literally on YouTube and any podcasting service. Any podcasting service. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, whatever. You go on there, you type webcomic shortcast, it comes up. Right? Now that those two are done, those two things are done, I'm currently working on a stats video. And
Of what?
So a little while ago, I asked a bunch of webcomic creators for information about how much they earned, where they produce their content, just a little data points like that, so I could extrapolate some information. And I've learned a lot from this one, a lot about what I did wrong, and a lot about what I should encourage more people to be able to do next time. I want
What
to
did
do
you
it
do
again.
wrong exactly?
A lot of questions I formulated badly at first and fixed in post, but they should never have been bad at the beginning. And some of them are irrelevant. They started out relevant and they seemed relevant. And then as the data I was going through the data, useless. And that's okay. That's part of, first testing. I'm doing it myself.
It's the process.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I want it to be like a yearly webcomic appraisal thing. And right now, the amount of data I've got gives me pretty interesting snippets of the industry. Next year, if I can do it again and get more data, I'm sure I will get more interesting, more revealing kinds of information, and I would love to do it more regularly.
Is this only for webtoon or for
It's web
or
comic creators, period.
period? So it can be Tapas, Tappy
Yeah,
Toon.
wherever you make your web comic.
All right. So that's your main project.
No,
that
that's
you're working-
actually my side project. My main project.
Oh.
My
What the, you have so many side projects. What the hell is the big thing?
Get the point. My main project is another Rise of Online comic video based on Activate and talking to the creators. So after the Zuda Comics videos, I did an appraisal. There are some things I think I liked and some things I wanted to try and achieve. The Zuda Comics video is very specific. It's very informative, but it doesn't really tell you about the people who made the work that went into all those things. Although I got stuff from them, but doesn't there's no emotion in it. My hope is to, with the next one, make it kind of like one of those sad documentaries. Peter, you'll be like, Pete, this is Peter. He worked at the dog shelter, and today we're gonna find out why Peter loves dogs so much. Hi, I'm Peter. I love dogs.
What the hell is this? I don't understand.
But then you talk about this, but like you're talking about the shelter and the problems with the animals, but then you get to listen to Peter talk about the dogs that he loves. Like, so I want to be like, hey, I want to talk about Activate and the things that they did and what they created and why I think it's interesting. But I also want to talk about the people who made it. I want them to tell me how they felt. How did you feel? Why did you feel like that? What drove you when you were making it? Like, it's not complicated. I don't expect you to be fucking verbose. I just want you to say what you did it for. Because comic creators are notoriously very product oriented. Not all of them, but it seems like the longer you make comics, the more product oriented you seem to become. Kind of.
Okay.
What do you mean by product oriented?
Like, I know a lot of comic creators who still love their work and to think of their work as art, and that's fucking awesome. And I know like there is a certain subset of people who think of comics kind of as a product, but I also know that even people who aren't in that subset, kind of as they continue to make more and more and more, kind of grow a little bit. I loved working on Superman and stuff, but at the end of the day, it sold well. That's kind of where they end up. Not because they're cynical or bad people, just because they work on so many things that maybe they get fatigued, and it's not bad. It's not a bad thing when they do it like that. It's just like I would love it if I could get them to open up a little bit more about how they felt making stuff, and that's kind of my goal. And I'm gonna be straight up with them. I'm supposed to have emailed them 3 weeks ago. I haven't done it yet. I'm doing that tomorrow. I keep saying tomorrow. I'm saying tomorrow every day for this week.
I like the idea that it's hard for comic creators to be genuine nowadays without seeing it with making a profit at the end. So I want to see how that project goes.
I hope it goes well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do more. It's gonna be very amusing to me if it goes like badly. I find bad projects to be very funny.
Do you?
Funny.
I don't know, yeah.
It's like a fail compilation, I guess.
Yeah, no, more like when you fail, you learn a lot of stuff. But usually you fail in an embarrassing way, so you never get to really think about the stuff you learn. When you fail a project, you just fail on your own in your room by yourself. No one even knows, right? It's like a man has fallen into the river in Lego City.
Oh my god!
But nobody saw him fall, so there is no rescue helicopter.
That's so dismal.
So you just kind of fail on your own. Like, projects have failed that no one knows have failed. People still think they're ongoing, and I'm just sitting in my room like, yeah, fuck, shit, dude. That's how it be. Like, my tabletop project for a webcomic tabletop, the first version of it failed. I haven't talked about it since I put it out.
Oh.
I literally have rewritten the whole set of information and scripts and planned a bunch of stuff just so I can do a tabletop thing once a month, maybe with a few people,
I know Prince
I can
was
tell a dumb
involved.
story.
Wasn't Prince involved with that? At some
The first
point?
one. It's not because Prince sucked or anything, although he did suck.
He did.
But it's
I-
not because he sucked.
Don't remind me.
I'm
I don't. I don't know
Not
how
'cause
it
he
went. I
sucked.
didn't see the
It's
thing.
because like I didn't offer enough structure for them to work around, and they had fun and they did well considering how bad I did. I want to try and offer more structure, more motivation to give more room for role playing. And Prince might definitely will probably end up coming back anyway because I like the way he was before. I just need to like. I'm just at a point where I'm trying to form a core cast of individuals and form and make sure that the role playing and storytelling is interesting, despite the fact that I know virtually and no one is gonna watch this.
Hey man, you're having fun. That's all. You know that passion will come straight through the video. I
Do I
like
have
that.
passion anymore? Or am I just an old shitty old? I'm just a shitty old man.
You just get more jaded by the days. Oh my god. Anyways, carry on.
Going back to the Zuda video, which took which you completely deserve all praise for, to be honest. Your
Big ups.
perseverance. How was it like being recognized? Actually, before I go move on, I forgot to ask this. It's because the Zuda video took so long, but it was like relatively short. This stats video you're doing, how long do you expect it to be? Do you think in your head?
So a lot of the stats has literally been doing statistical analysis. I haven't done statistical analysis since my A levels.
Oh. I know that feel.
You know, like, and it's not complicated statistical analysis. You know, I'm not doing any k-means clustering. I'm not doing some fucking crazy Google level stats or anything.
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty simplistic stats because I'm working with pretty simplistic data sets. This video won't be very long. It'll be the video itself is going to be an examination of the data I got, examination of the mistakes I made, and a discussion on things that I think are important for comic creators to be able to be honest about. That way, data like this can be more valuable for younger and more upcoming creators. Like a key thing I will always say is tell people how much you earn. No one gives a shit. No one is judging you. I don't look at how much you earn and go, ha ha ha, Lana only gets 15 schmeckles every week. Well, I'm sure she's not a great creator. That's meaningless.
Yeah.
You know? No one cares about that shit. People who do don't matter. The only reason we ask you to tell us about how much you earn is because we want to be able to understand the earning power of the average creator. When you give me 000, or you tell me I don't know, or you tell me stuff like I'm asking for, especially because I only ask for averages, right? Averages are really easy to calculate. They're literally like every other month I earn maybe $2,000, but once every other month, but every month or so I earn maybe $3,000. On average, I can easily count on getting maybe $2,500 done, right? Like I'm asking for the information because I want to be able to talk to a creator and be like, a creator asked me yesterday, how much does a feature creator make? Because I'm being asked to take up a contract for a featured position. And I said anywhere from $2,000 to $7,000.
Oh, that's good.
Considering no, but that's because they're working for the company, and also it takes into account some Patreon. You know, especially for the higher end, it takes into account quite a lot the Patreon.
Yeah.
Because creators of differing levels experience their earning potential differently, and also smaller companies pay less. Less popular comics make less. You know, it becomes this mess, and you kind of want to be able to contextualize it, but also give somebody an answer that they can go, all right, this is why I should look in the range of. You know.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help if it's just grapevine information. Grapevine information is useless. And the reason why it's useless is because it's not based in shit. So that means, and also it doesn't update. It doesn't update. If, like, you know through the grapevine that feature creators earn a minimum of 2K, is what you've heard.
Yeah.
We have all heard that.
Yeah.
That might not be fucking true. I'm not here to confirm or deny jack shit. I'm just saying, understanding that, like, that might not be true is insane because that's grapevine information. Hasn't updated in 5 years.
So the possibility of that being more or less is just up in the air right now.
So basically, you're walking around to Webtoon. You're going up to the Webtoon. You're going, hey, I know through the grapevine it's $2,000. I'm the smartest man alive. But they're like, that dipshit just told me to pay him $2,000 for 600 panels a month, dumbass. You know, like
Oh.
you don't know. You don't know how
Getting
I'm not saying
bizarre.
I'm not calling them evil bastards or anything. I'm just saying like you coming in without information leaves you vulnerable. Don't be vulnerable. Don't trust companies. These are my two rules in life. Don't be vulnerable to a company. Don't trust companies. Thank you for coming to my anti-capitalist TED talk.
Thank you for destroying everything on this server. They all one fell swoop. Now Webtoon will blacklist me. I'm joking. I've lost my hope in Webtoon. But
Your name is $40, my guy. They blacklisted you months ago.
They must have. They don't want to see my shit again. They saw appended. They were like, "Ew, 40 fingers, get out of it." Yeah.
Why doesn't he have 50 fingers? Shit, not even an even number of fingers.
Exactly. Wait, 40's also. Anyways.
Going back to Zuda, how was it like
this.
being recognized by old Zuda employees after making?
Fucking surreal, my guy.
I saw a bit of it on
Surreal.
Twitter actually. Your reaction.
Yeah, it was very surreal. I thought I was gonna cry. I'm not gonna lie.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. Because like, there's nothing better than working really hard on something. Okay. You know what? I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna start with this more important fact. I am a slow writer.
I can tell.
but like the year was partially because of work, which made this actually almost 4 times longer than it would have been.
Yeah.
But I am a slow writer. I am a very slow writer. I'm a very slow creator. I'm very aware every single waking moment of my life how long a project is taking me. Like I have had days, and I think the YouTube creator Dan Olsen made a really good point of it. There are days when you sit down and wonder, why don't I just eat pot noodle instead of make rice? You think of eating less and doing and sleeping less and being less so that you can make more. And you do that. But the problem is it doesn't matter how much time you create for yourself. You are a slow writer. And it just takes a while for you to do anything.
That's like a sad realization.
Yeah. Like Webcomics Hub at some point was supposed to have a comic news section where I do weekly stuff. Do you know the reason why I want to do a comic news section? Because I don't have to work hard to write shit. Comic news is easy. You copy paste some stuff from Bleeding Cool, Newsarama, and a couple websites. You link back to them, and you just talk about it.
Okay.
And I just ad lib garbage over it. There was a point at which Webcomic Hub was going to be just that. Because it was so easy and I was giving up on making videos. This isn't my first video. The first video I made was in 2016. The first video I made is so old. I watched it yesterday on stream, just the intro, and I cringed so hard.
I feel that.
Yeah, and especially when you're me or Dan Olsen or Philosophy Tube or any other people I know who make content with an idea of in a year, I want to watch this video. I don't want to cringe.
Do you think you won't cringe next year when you look back on it, but that man?
No, I know I won't cringe because that first video is solid. It's not. I may not be delivering lines perfectly, but I'm not gonna cringe.
Okay.
Right? In terms of like production quality, editing, what's in there, I won't cringe.
It's because you've done the best you could do at that moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't want to cringe. Like, and a lot of creating work like on YouTube and just generally for people like me who are slow writers is you look back at your work and you go, in a year, in 2 years, I want to be able to say your delivery is kind of bad or you're poorly mastering audio, but I don't want to go look at it and go, oh fuck, what's that joke? What's that line? Why is it editing like that? Why did you is this a slideshow? What's wrong with you? Like you saw how much editing work I put into that video.
Definitely.
8-minute video, and it has more. It has like what 25 effect shots. Why?
It's a lot. I mean, that was done really cleanly. I saw it on stream. You were putting work into that.
I was doing 5-hour streams back to back to finish it on time for like 2 weeks. You saw me doing all the editing.
I was there.
Like,
I was like, this is painful. I can't edit like this. No way.
you lived through the editing,
Yeah.
and it wasn't just me doing editing. I was learning new stuff and using new stuff like almost immediately. I didn't have time to be that bitch.
Exactly. And it was such a grueling process you had to go through, and still you made such a stellar video.
Oh, thank you. You're such a bitch.
Ah, fuck off.
I love all jokes aside. Like when you and Requiem and Lana and just Geek Boy and everyone told me that you liked that video, I've never been happier.
Aww.
And I shut the fuck up. Don't make me take it. And honestly, I really appreciate all of you for just being there when I was making that. I needed that. Kaz too. Kaz especially. Kaz was the most supportive person in the world. God bless her fucking soul, man.
Shout out to Kaz.
Every time I think about it, it's so weird to think it's been such a long time since we talked about in BC, you doing this video.
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
Like, I wrote Soki in 2017, right? I found an artist for Soki, and then the artist bailed. I have written 2 chapters of Soki in 2 years. It's just a cat comic, by the way. But it's because I write the cat comic and I go, this isn't accurate enough. This isn't mundane enough. This doesn't capture the feeling of owning a cat enough. And I delete an entire chapter and I rewrite it. They're not even very long. And I know that I'm not giving them the ridiculous amount of time they require, but like that's what it means. Like, you know what I mean? That's what it is like to write when I write.
Do you sometimes hate yourself for like over criticizing yourself? You know.
Constantly. Like Requiem gave me this easy. So I was working with Requiem for a little bit, and we're still kind of talking about stuff. But I was working with Requiem for a little bit, and he gave me a review, and I was going to use that review to kind of make a more entertaining video format based out of the written review thing. And he gave me that review, and I have already ruined it because I have taken it from a review to a thematic analysis, and I have abandoned the review entirely because I just couldn't emotionally get myself into it. Like, I'm literally sitting here talking about God of Bath and the feeling of forlornness during quarantine. Why?
What?
Yeah, like the video.
What happened?
Okay, so guys, it's a God of Bath review, right? That was what it started out as. Now it's literally a video about God of Bath, Family Man, and the feeling of being abandoned.
I didn't know
quarantine.
this. I actually didn't.
Of course you didn't know, because I was so
wow.
afraid to tell you this last bit. I just told you thematic analysis. I didn't want to explain the actual thematic analysis because, okay, so after reading God of Bath, a story that's literally entirely about a guy who ends up in a situation that he cannot control because of his own recklessness, right? And has to kind of find himself and figure out what he wants to be and stop being a guy who just runs away from his problems. And reading Family Man, a story about a man who loses his job and has to figure out how to take care of his family while with a lost job, but also give his kids hope during a time in their lives that's probably going to be the most tumultuous. So he wears a fucking pink costume, right? And we're living in this right now. You tell me you don't see the connections?
Just bringing it all together. Holy shit.
And like that is what it's like in my head, right? Every time I read. So like, like, you know, you enter this mind. I'm not saying I'm a genius or anything. I'm not smart. It's just anyone could do this. But it's just this is my constant like video brain, constant content brain. I read things, I start making a connection. I realize there's a better place to take this. And then it takes so long because I keep saying, but there can be more. More cowbell.
We're gonna have to talk about this.
Yeah, we gotta wrap this up, like.
Because
God damn.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a talk.
Yeah, stay for another 3 hours. We're gonna talk.
Anyway, what is your favorite closed project, i.e., the Zeta Comics video, etc.?
My favorite closed subject you have never seen. So, if you didn't know, I do photography. I do a lot of photography.
Yeah.
Um, when I was 16, I started doing something called the Friedlander experiment. So there was an old photographer called Friedlander, and his photographs were all about objects and people and things, but not people's faces. And he did it the way he knew how. He would take a picture, but like below the chin and stuff like that,
Hmm.
right? And he would show you like a guy holding a bicycle, but you don't see the guy's face. It's kind of like for you to kind of like live through the image. You can pretty when you don't see someone's face, if you are vaguely like that person, you can input yourself into it.
Yeah.
Um, so for like 4 years, I did the Friedlander project. Like 4 years, on and off. Usual, just one photo, couple photos, stuff. I have a Tumblr with all the finished content from that, and it's not like coalesced together. But there was a picture I took at one point that I just made me go, yeah, I think I'm done understanding how this goes. I'm not like perfected a skill or a new thing, but I think like the study and the understanding of what the photography was trying to say, I think I got it.
Ah.
And that was when I stopped doing the Freelander project. Um, it was supposed to be for my A level photography class, and then I dropped photography.
Oh man.
but I
No.
still
So you
owned,
don't think
owned
about doing
but I
photography?
still owned a $2,000 camera, so I had to keep using it.
And that's where streaming came in.
Streaming was something else. Streaming was Oh, okay. So I thought first I started streaming for fun,
Yeah.
and then I thought that I could become a big Twitch streamer.
Oh
So I
my.
was putting in the hours. Like there was a point in time when I was getting 20 viewers a video, 20 viewers a stream. Archangel will remember that. 20 viewers a stream, and I was streaming like just consistently, regularly, 3, 4 times a week, all the time.
Oh
And then
my.
I move a lot. I move a lot for lots of reasons. So there are moments where I just don't have internet,
Hmm.
or I don't have access to a computer and stuff. And especially because I also move abroad a lot for family reasons and stuff.
Yeah.
So I moved abroad, couldn't stream because the internet in that country is garbage. Like literally, tried to stream from my PlayStation 4 and the lowest bandwidth, and then it tanked my house internet. Um, so couldn't stream for a few months, and by the time I came back, I was like, oh, I don't actually like streaming one games because I don't know.
Mm,
Like I like streaming when I can experience it with other people, but like the games I stream are adventure games.
yeah.
Adventure games can be a slog.
They
They
can
can
be.
be a
Yeah.
slog. And they're my favorite types of games. And I could sit down here and talk to you about adventure and categorization for the entire night. But
Yeah, I'd like to have that convo too, but probably for next time. Because I know you said you don't
Oh,
like Breath
dude.
of the Wild, and I'm like, I have some words. So
Oh, I don't like Breath of the Wild.
I know you don't like Breath of the Wild. I just want to know
But
why.
I don't like Breath of the Wild for multiple reasons. Like, I don't like Breath of the Wild because it's an action adventure game, and action
Then,
adventure games are.
um,
I'm getting distracted.
Yeah,
My
okay,
point
okay.
is-
Later,
my point
later.
is,
We're 62 minutes in here.
after streaming all those things and streaming a lot, I realized I wasn't super into it. But I do like the streaming where I get to kind of interact with other people,
Mhm.
kind of talk about my process, make something during the process. So I've stopped game streaming and went back to just streaming. Either the occasional, hey, I'm gonna edit right now,
Mhm.
or the podcast, which is
Yeah.
fun.
Okay, that's cool.
I
That's
really
cool.
want to talk about that Zelda thing.
I also want to talk about it. Like that. If we have time, I'll talk about it in the end. We'll bring it up. But okay, on a slightly different note, we'll move away from webcomics for a little bit.
Yeah.
We also know that you have experience with coding, especially since because you work
Yeah, I
as a
have a degree.
teacher. Yeah, yeah, and also you have a degree, and you've also been working as a teacher for a long time. What got you into coding?
Okay, I want to just say for you, I haven't worked as a teacher for a long time. I worked as a teacher for a year.
Okay.
I have taught for a long time,
Yeah.
but not as a fully qualified teacher. And by a long time, I mean like a few years.
All right.
Programming, desperation.
Explain.
So I needed to get a degree.
Okay.
So when I was choosing a degree, I chose mechanical engineering. And then while doing engineering, I realized that I really do not like material science, which is the study of materials and their uses and effects and like properties. Right? It's really fucking boring
I can
and
imagine.
devoid of meaning. And my professor was just this hard ass who would like get mad at you if you couldn't tell him the tensile strength of spider web. Like he
Oh.
was a weird guy, weird guy.
Wait,
So
what?
when I failed my material sciences class, but I basically fucking destroyed mathematics and everything else, I went, you know what? I'm not doing this. I called the computer science department within my school, thinking I was gonna have to drop out, and told them, "Yo, can I just go there?" And they were like, "What's your math grade? A. What's your other grade? A star. Okay, sure, bud." And then that's it.
Hey.
That's it. Like I don't even like computer science that much. Like I think it's a glorified vocational subject with and the theory behind it that's pretty interesting
Yeah.
is what nobody will really ever care about. But once you get into computer science, you start programming. I started realizing I could make stuff I wanted. I'm a very poorly I don't do graphical stuff a lot very well. Most of my programs are like utility based things.
Right.
So like I write code for like I have a program I wrote in C++ for my friend's phone to make his phone make cat noises, but like it varies the volume and the balancing, so the cat noise sounds like it's coming from far away.
Oh, that's so... why you gotta mess with him like that?
Or like some of the things I write for myself would be like, there's a testing application I've written for my thesis paper, or I'm working on a game right now. I'm having to relearn programming because I just didn't program for like a year, and I also didn't really care to even read books for a year. So I'm relearning programming for writing a game that I'm working on with my boy Geek Boy.
which
Also
was
known as
literally
Matthew
which was
Santoro.
which was literally going to be my next question. I'm calling out Geek Boy as well. Would you like to share the video game project you're working with him?
I mean, yeah, we don't have a name. I think right now we called it the One Up Project. It's just a turn-based game. We're using like he just wants to draw shit, and I'm using my love of 1990s RPGs like Final Fantasy VI to just create a game that I think is to create a game that we think is unique in that we have a system that revolves around cartridges and the use of cartridges to give your characters powers. And some interesting black and white 2D animation. Black and white isn't really done in video games ever.
Wait, I'm thinking. Have I seen a black and white video game?
Probably maybe just like as an effect, and then it goes away. Black and white is almost never done in video games.
I see. Okay, fair enough.
And Geek Boy likes black and white, and also it saves money on color. So
Hey, whoever works, man.
yeah, so that's all it is. It's just for fun.
Yeah.
We don't have a time limit. We literally said it can take us forever. As long as we get it done, we get it done, and that's where we're at.
That's cool.
I love working with Geek Boy. Yeah.
Hey. Shout out to Geek Boy. He's cool too.
Yeah.
He's very talented with animation as well.
Oh, he's fucking talented as well. The fact that he's working with me is almost an insult to his creativity.
Don't worry, you're both equally cool, I think.
Gotta hype up my boys.
Exactly. Exactly. Anyways, Prince?
We've already discussed the webcomic projects you have going on now, right?
Yeah, we kind of did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
The one I'm working on now, I think I named it yesterday night. It's called Hanging On.
Yeah. Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah. It's called Hanging On. It's the coming out one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you
Yeah,
renamed
that
it again.
Yeah, and I named it finally. It's called Hanging On.
Okay, that's cool.
Final name. I'm not changing it.
All right.
Yeah.
So, up until now, we have discussed a lot of projects you have done and are planning to do up until this point, and I must say, I don't know how you do it. Like, if I had to do a fraction of what you do on a daily basis, I'd probably not last. So please share your wisdom and tell me how do you do it?
Drugs.
I'm not surprised as he started off the podcast with
Jokes.
MDMA.
I think a really important thing a lot of creators need to learn how to do, and it's something that I know Geek Boy knows, and I know Lana knows, and it's that motivation is a stupid thing to rely on. A lot of people rely on motivation. That's why people look for challenging jobs, because challenging jobs leave you in a situation where like you're always doing something different, so you can always be motivated. Motivation is fickle and stupid. She does not like you. She does not care about you. She's not here to help you. Motivation doesn't want you to do well. what you need to develop is discipline. Discipline isn't like you're good and proper and prim. Discipline is like, hey, I gotta go edit this video for 5 hours. I don't want to edit this video for 5 hours. I want to eat McDonald's and fucking cry in the corner. I'm having a shit week. No, 5 hours and then you can go cry.
When you
You
say
know?
they're somewhat connected, motivation and
No,
discipline.
fuck motivation. Discipline doesn't need motivation. Motivation can make discipline easier to maintain, but you don't need motivation to be disciplined. You discipline yourself. You punish yourself for not doing something. You make it impossible for you to contain yourself without doing something. And I'm not going to pretend and sit here and say to you, like, well, I'm getting everything done. I'm not. I'm really not. There are still several moments where I could be doing work. Like several moments where I could just be doing more stuff, but I'm not doing that because at the end of the day, like you got to invest in rest too. But I'm facing reality that you just have to be disciplined. While going to college, while running the podcast and maintaining that schedule, maintaining the podcast schedule while having a full-time job teaching kids. I just said it's Saturday. It's midnight, half past midnight. I like my girlfriend at the time. We're not talking for the next 2 hours. My job, like. Go sleep in the living room. I've got things to do. I don't care. Or I'm doing this thing and I'm like, okay, tomorrow's Sunday. I've got to go in. Well, guess I'm not sleeping till tomorrow because it takes 2.5 hours. And if I fall asleep, I'll oversleep.
I see. So you're practical about it.
Yeah, you just fucking break yourself. You got to build a disciplined nature and know that at the end of the day, if you want to get stuff done, you get stuff done. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable. It kind of takes almost all the joy out of what you're doing. But that's why you hold out that joy. It's delayed gratification. It's for the end. When it's out, when you're watching it, when your dickhead friend is telling you, yo, dude, this trailer is so cool. That's the real shit.
I completely agree with that. I'm glad you put it into words because I know with a lot of comic artists as well. The process of drawing is not fun, but it's the end product that they want to see in the end.
Exactly. And a lot of them don't have the motivation. Think that motivation is the drive, and it's not.
Yeah, they're getting that confused. It's just about sitting down and creating all the concept, doing all the line art and coloring and bullshit just to see that final chapter uploaded.
If you gotta cry to make it, cry.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like before. I'm gonna say this thing, and I'm only gonna say it once. There's at least 2 times in the past year and a half that I have cried before going on a stream because I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do a podcast once, and I didn't even tell Kat. Kat doesn't know this. I cried before the podcast with not Merriweather, the podcast with not Sophism, Pancakes, because I didn't want to wake up and do that podcast. I didn't want to do it. But I said, I've been doing this for fucking 2 years now, right? I'll be dead before I'm not doing this again. And I just got up and went and did it. And I cried before the live stream number 3, when I was doing the 5-hour editing for 2 weeks thing. The third one, I cried before it because I was like, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I had no fucking idea of where to take the scenes. And I just had I just sat down, I was like, I'm not even going to be able to make anything. No one's going to watch it. And then you just beat yourself up. But then you get up, you sit down, you live stream your work because you want other people to hold you accountable, but you also want to get it done. You just do, man.
Yeah, it's very much the harsh truth about it. It's just, is it? Oh, no, I don't know how to put it exactly into words, but it's just
do or do
robot.
not. There is no try.
Exactly, it's not like a robot mentality. You just have to, like a robot, just sit down. You have no other functions. Just do the work and get it done.
Yeah, burn rubber, my guy.
Exactly.
Well, look at me revealing all my secrets.
You're like the mentor right now. You're like J level of mentor. J is also
just because I act like a dipshit doesn't mean I don't know shit. I feel like people have been convinced that my dumb act is like a genuine state of just stupidity.
Because you do it so often.
Yeah, because it's fun. When you're stupid, no one asks you for shit.
Yeah, I know that. Anyways,
it's so nice.
Well, final question. Considering you have all the skills under your belt, you know, like coding, teaching, running your channel, podcasts, projects, the apparent, you know, comics and scripts all written in the background. Do you have a long-term plan for what you're doing, if not yet so distant future?
I'm in a weird place where I have both a long-term plan and no plan at the same time. I'm like free, but I have no choices. It's really weird.
I'm trying to think how that works.
Like, I have a lot of desire to make Webcomics Hub or just making videos in general a full-time gig. Me never ever thinking about doing anything else for the rest of my life. Working on videos and content, analytical thematic discussions about making and working on things till the day I fucking die. Right?
That's the dream.
And if as I sit here, I want to expand Webcomics Hub stuff. Like what reason I was talking to Requiem is because I needed a reviewer, because I cannot review webcomics. Because the moment I start reviewing a webcomic, like, okay, for example, I literally tried to review like this is like 2 years ago. I tried to review what you call it, this webcomic that was on the front page at the time that people were reading called Siren's Lament. I tried to review. I'm reading Siren's Lament, and then like halfway through the reading of Siren's Lament, my brain just went, "Huh." There's a lot of parallels between this story and some Greek whatever, and I was like, "Huh." How much do we really discuss Greek pantheon shit in webcomics? Huh? You know, maybe when we discuss pantheon shit in webcomics, how much of it do we like wash? Because like if you notice when you talk about pantheons in media, you wash a lot of it because no one wants to write about the fact that Zeus fucked one of his kids, right? That's gross. So we wash it. We wash it to make it clean. And like when I started thinking about it like that, I start thinking about writing about just pantheons and the washing of pantheons for this consumption in media, so that it can be more tolerable and why we do it and what that really says about the state of our creation. Blah 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 blah. Right? That's where I ended up. I can't review shit. So getting Requiem on to expand so I can have some kind of reviewer on board. Working on the website, I've been badgering the programmer of that website all week. Turns out it's not even his fault. It's the guy behind him's fault that it's taking so long. But so that I can have a blog, so that when I don't have time to put up a video, my script can just become a blog post and eventually become a video in a few months. I'm like talking to more and more people outside of just webtoon creators, because webtoon's big and it's great, but the people who really make the industry at the indie and the lower level, like say lower level, no, wrong. The small time people, they're really big deals, and I try to talk to more and more of them. Like for me, a very big like expansion is in mind, and that's what I want to do. But at the same time, I can't really plan around any of this because, like, fuck, tomorrow, like, all of you could get Rona, and my 10 viewers will die. Like, but like I'm just facing the reality that like everyone could go, or I could lose my spark, or I may not have anything useful to say. I'm the first person to be highly aware of the fact that, like, no matter how much I want to talk about stuff, I am incredibly flawed as a creative individual. So I'm also very aware of the fact that I might want this to go forever, but it might last maybe a year, and then I write a video about, like, I don't know, fucking unlucky is as lucky does and unordinary, and the tale and the reason why you should vote for Trump or something. Like, I write a video like that, and then I realize, and then I've hit my peak.
You plateaued at that point.
I've gone gold, I've gone platinum, and I'm now just trying to make you listen to my old hits. Like, like I know that could happen. It's really weird.
I get that. There's no concrete future. I mean, there's no concrete future that you can see right now. This industry is so fucking weird, man. It's honestly like you can't predict shit in this because it's an ever evolving industry.
Webcomics is becoming quicker and quicker, a bigger and bigger and bigger industry. Comics are becoming bigger and bigger, especially now that they've cut off the tumor that is Diamond. You know, more people are realizing that there's a lot of connection between themselves and the comics that they read. Comics are realizing they need to connect more with audiences directly. There's a
Yeah.
lot more discussion about how this industry can grow. For the first time in like what 20 years,
Yeah.
we're really trying to expand the industry more than just more than we ever have. At least to me, from my perspective, and like because things are changing so much, it means that we could hit a crash because we try to expand too fast. And then what? What then? You know, like shit could blow up in my face. I don't and I don't want to be a content pump.
Mm.
Like I see webcomic reviews on YouTube. I've watched a lot of webcomic reviews on YouTube. Requiem made me watch a bunch of webcomic reviews on YouTube.
Uh,
They're dog shit.
They're dog shit. Okay, I'm
They-
not gonna
look,
say that. Right.
no. I'm saying that personally.
Okay.
Like I'm not gonna knock the guy's creative work. I'm sure he's busting ass. I'm sure they're all busting ass to put out videos.
Mm-hmm.
I can never knock their creative work. Their creative work though is dog shit.
Mm.
The thing that they put out is dog shit. I think it's bad. I think it's lowbrow, low quality crap. And then there's some people that put out really good stuff. Don't get me wrong, but you know, I see the webcomic reviews. I see the low effort videos, and I'm like, that's not what I want my life to be. I don't want to look back in 10 years and be the webcomic review guy, and I watch my first review, and then I accidentally somehow give fucking I somehow give like Lore Olympus a 12 out of 10, and I'm like, it's such a wonderful story. Or like I start sounding like IGN, and I start going, you know, I think that this character should not have gotten beat up by her mother in this scene. There was no character motivation, but it's got a little bit of something for everyone. 7.5 out of 10.
Ew, 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 ew.
I
Absolute,
got Requiem with that one.
absolute bullshit.
I don't want to become that person. So there's like there's a lot to think about when you're working in this industry. There's a lot to think about when you're making content, and like, this is why you should support me, guys, more with your dollar, with your dongers.
Dongers, no, they're all my dongers. Leave them alone. I'm 40 dongers.
No, but
bro,
like
you have 40,
unironically,
bro.
for 40 dongers. But unironically, this is why if you watch someone and you like, giving them $1 is an incredibly valuable thing,
Yeah.
even though it almost sounds stupid. Because you're paying $1.62 that you probably don't even think about to someone who you think is not gonna benefit from it. Trust me, they do. It doesn't pay their bills, but giving that person that dollar, you have just told them, I have enough confidence in you to open my wallet and give you money. And I think that your work is interesting and deserves the time it takes to put out. And I am so happy of the people who do that for me. Like they give me encouragement and joy, and they just make me know that the thing I'm making is worthwhile. And I know that's how a lot of creators feel when they put out their stuff. And like, so like in an industry like this where everything is tumultuous, if you like someone's content, give them $1. And I don't mean me. You don't like me, don't like me. I'm a dick. I know you don't like me. But but you know, if you see someone out there, if you see Donger Boy over here, and you think you want to give him $1, like do it because like it changes his life.
It does. I remember everybody who gives me their money and they say they like my
Yeah,
stuff.
mommy and daddy.
Yeah, shout out to my mom and dad.
Shout out to my mom and dad and the Pakistani Lamborghini. His Lamborghini.
It's Lamborghini, thank you. You know I only get bitches in this Lamborghini, alright? But well said. Well said. And on that note, if you didn't check out already, all of Nen's, if you're not from the Webcomic Hub already, you can join the Discord down below. That's the first link, and then you can check out all of Nen's
You're such
social
a bitch.
media.
I love you.
I know. Us three, we're in that VC sometimes, and you hear us talk a lot of shit.
Yeah, a lot of shit. I'm gonna lie.
Yeah.
I think it's led to some pretty useful thoughts for me at the end of the day. But overall, it's a lot of dog shit. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love the dog pile. I love the fights. I love the fucking fighting for control. It's great.
Exactly.
I lost mine a long time ago.
Wait, you lost your donger a long time ago?
I thought you said control.
course, I took it back from him. He doesn't deserve it.
Hey yo.
And you can also
Dog.
see. We've also interviewed other people who frequent the Webcomics Hub, like good old Basil, Jenny, good old Jenny,
Oh, you should
Good
watch
old-
Jenny's. It's pretty decent. And Jay's.
and Jay. He's on Macroverse now. He's gone way ahead of us. He's absolutely stars right now.
Oh, I talked to the Macroverse guys. Oh, that reminds me. If you're from Webcomics Hub, the podcast for the Macroverse guys one is going up in like 20 minutes.
Exactly. check that out immediately after this one. And on that note, I just want to end. Okay, why is it like that?
Why
Sorry.
is the what like?
The end screen for some reason just resized. But okay, I'm just gonna leave it like that because that wasn't the original image. But you know what? We all make mistakes in life.
Everybody has those
You
days.
got any announcements to say first?
Yes. The only reason why we were hyping up Nen for so long, telling him that you're a special guest, is because that you are our last guest. Next week we're ending the 40 Fingers podcast.
Wait, why?
Everyone, arrivederci.
Goodbye, guys.